just watched the movie This Is New Zealand, which is a short documentary, only about 20 minutes-ish. It's made for the Osaka Expo, a Japanese expo in 1970. And it is, as you can see, projected on 3 screens, which is wild. Afterwards, we got to talk to Hugh McDonald, who is the director. So that was cool. Seeing what they were able to do with this 3-screen format in terms of movement and juxtaposition and scale makes me believe even more in the ability of split screen to be used in theaters, in the film format. So here in New Zealand, pedestrians don't always have the right of way. In the States, a pedestrian versus a car will always have the right of way. And I think to some degree here that might be viewed a little weird, but to me it makes total sense. It makes perfect sense, because even when a person is wrong to be doing what they are doing, which they can still be legally wrong and fined, but not for acting first, because there's a power difference, where if a car knows that it has to stay back, a person can freely walk without sort of having the threat of a car. But a car isn't exactly going to have the threat of a person. If a person hits a car, the car is fine, but if a car hits a person, the person is not fine. And so it makes total sense to me that you want to structure the laws to balance that power difference. So the pedestrian, which may be crushed at any instant, knows that they will be in the right if they are moving forward. Whereas cars, which have more power, have to sort of stay back for a second to let the pedestrians come through first before they move along, which, you know me, I find metaphorically resonant. Dang, that's a nice sunset. This week's video is a little early, and especially if you are back in the States, it is especially early. And that's because Sunday I am traveling. And so, I ain't gonna upload something on Monday, so I'm uploading it now. It is second break. Break was split into 2 this year because Easter was very early. And so this break, I'm exploring the South Island. So I'm going to Christchurch, and then spending a day bussing between Christchurch and Queenstown, and then spending a few days in Queenstown. So, yeah, we'll see that. Other exciting news, Lindsay Ellis just put out a new video, which is exciting, first of all, just because her videos are good, but second of all, got a credit in this one? Yeah, you might recognize like a single Wellywood shot from last week's video as being in hers, which is the reason I went and did that. I am realizing that this whole video is me walking up and down the exact same pathway, punctuated by very beautiful shots of New Zealand, because, well, the scenery here is ridiculously beautiful, so I'm just going to kind of continue that. There's another exciting thing that I have going on this week. Hello, bird. You're a noisy one, huh? This is Kenyan news for Kenyan folks, so if you are at Kenyan when you see this, you should do something about it. There's a recent Kenyan publication, which is a Spanish newspaper, Medio Camino, and I wrote an article for it, and I am in this second edition, second issue, which is really exciting because I haven't written Spanish in a really long time, and the editors were super amazing, and I'm really proud of the piece, so you should go pick it up if you can. I'm gonna walk back home now because I'm just wearing slippers.